In Revelations 21 and 8, it says that the fearful and the unbelieving and several other types of people will have their part in the lake of fire. Just to focus on the fearful and unbelieving. There is only so much fear and unbelief can go together. Do Christians have scared moments? Yeah, Peter did, but he repented, he came back, and eventually got martyred. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Peter that got crucified upside down. So the thing but there's a difference between having a scared moment and being fearful and unbelieving. Okay? And so the thing is, oh, excuse me. When we look at the world today, well, that's what we see everywhere. Oh, people who claim to be Christians, sorry, I'm not full, but people who claim to be Christians are fearful and unbelieving. You go in these churches, and these people are all masked up, looking scared, won't shake your hand, God forbid a hug. And they come up, and if they're real brave, they might give you an elbow bump. But you try to when you elbow bump me, I'm trying not to think less of you, but I do. In reality, I'm just instantly like, how dare you? Like, you believe that crap, anywho. Like, you're still touching me. Anyhow. I wonder what they would do if I just came up and give them a big old sloppy wet kiss on their forehead. When a kiss became sexual assault. A kiss on the forehead became sexual assault. But anyhow, yeah. So thing is, we live in some silly times. We live in very perilous times. All right. So the thing is, all these people run around scared out of their minds. You could go to like give somebody something that they don't want to come near you because the Rona, right? Which the Rona, by the way, it's a joke. Okay, like it's got a 99.4 survival rate. It's less dangerous than sugar. Like that bag of sugar you got in your cupboard, more dangerous than the Rona. The CDC ain't banning that though, are they? They better not. I like my sweets, obviously. That was empty. Dang it. I was just prepared for that sip. But I was looking forward to that. It ruined my day a little bit. Alright, so the thing is though, but there's only so much that you can believe that God is sovereign over all things, right? You can't believe God is sovereign over all things and He's working all things out for the good, your good. And if you claim to be the called or to love God and be the called according to His purpose, if you claiming that, and I have to catch myself sometimes, I do. Like I have fearful moments, but ultimately, like I gotta go, be brave for the Lord, just to get through. Sometimes the Lord's got to pull me up by my bootstraps, often. But the thing is, the fear, does it rule you? Does it stop you from doing things for the Lord? And I mean, like, there's a difference between a Peter moment, where it stops him for a moment, and then he, goes and lives the rest of his life for the Lord, repents, and then being outright ruled by fear. Because, you read that passage and it's like, well, aren't we supposed to be timid? And, well, we're not supposed to be timid. We're supposed to be bold. A lot of people think that being anal retentive and timid is Christianity. A lot of people think Christians are sissies. And, that's something that ticks me off. Because it's like, dude, you don't know how much I'm holding myself back for your benefit. Like, because I would go ham on you. Like, me and my flesh, we go nuts, boy. But, like, it takes more strength to reserve yourself and what you really want to do than to do what you want to do. So, thing is, yes. The thing is, when people are scared, they do insane things. People will sell out their neighbors to communists so that way they can have a few little more like days, weeks, whatever, maybe just whatever of food security, worldly security, whatever. People will, and that's what we're seeing now. I mean, like people are snitching their freaking neighbors out over masks. Like people are just getting so petty and ridiculous. I mean, and now they're wearing two masks, and they're like, oh, well, it just makes more sense that two masks is better than one, dude. That virus don't care about your mask, and it's a joke anyways. It's got a 99.4 survival rate. I get ticked off about the stupid virus thing. You could go in somewhere and tell them that you have, like, blatantly look at them and say, I have COPD. I can't have obstructed breathing. I know somebody who has asthma and cannot breathe. I can't breathe through them stupid diapers. And like, you tell an employer that and they just look at you like, you're wearing it. It's like, I'm not. Like, I'd rather be homeless where I can be able to breathe than, be ready to pass out here all day, which by the way will kill me a lot sooner. No, I'm not doing that. Like, and you shouldn't either. Thing is though, like if all of us stood up and just said no, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? And even Fauci's came out and said that the mask was ineffective. Don't even go out and buy it. He changed his statement so much on that bull crap. Like, this is some crap they pulled out of their hat. There's something stinks. But the thing is though, is a lot stinks. The thing is though, but people are so freaking scared with the stupid elbow bump. People, I mean, like, and they're going out and they're acting like trapped rats. I mean, and it's like, how much do you really value this life? You want to live here forever? I don't. This sucks. At its best, this still sucks. Like, if it wasn't for God, this world would be unbearable. If it was just man going and doing what he wanted to do, ugh. You think living in the jungle would be rough. Please. So, thing is, and fat. But, thing is that, yeah. It causes people to do evil things, fear does. Fear causes people to turn on one another and just go absolutely nuts. But, yeah. Thing is, had to put a dish in the dishwater. Thing is, though, is how much does fear rule you? How many of your decisions does that impact? Now, and there is a difference between being outright afraid and being cautious, right? Like, thing is, but there, like, the thing is there's a huge difference there. People will go and make like the most scaredy cat move and say, I'm just being cautious. No, you're being a freaking scaredy cat. Like, when I was a kid, there were standards of like, there was a point where people would look at you just like, really? Come on, dude. Like, grow up a little bit. Now, if you're not totally scared out of your mind about everything, you're like an enemy of the state. They actually treat people like that. I mean, like that woman in the government, AOC, something, a, I don't know, freaking Aeoli Olive Cortez. I know her last name is Cortez. That woman is so freaking terrified of her own dang shadow. Like, I mean, the shifty look in her eyes. And and by the way, like, that's what fear does to people. It makes them shifty and shady. It makes them untrustworthy, because they're running around like in rat mentality all the time. I get tired of it. And thing is, it's stupid, man. Like, it's just ridiculous. Because it's like, dude, you're going to freaking die. You're not the most important thing on this planet. There's so much going on every day. And so many people die every day. So many, you don't fear going to sleep. And you don't know what's going to happen when you go to sleep. Why do you fear death? I mean, it took me a while to get it. I didn't want to die outside of the will of the Lord. I had to realize, like, I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier about how, when I was, before, like, my life had no meaning, I wasn't ready to die. Now, my life's had some meaning. I've done, I've had some experiences with the Lord that were really awesome. And I'm ready. I'm whatever. Like, I'm not. I mean, there's some things I'd still like to do, but ultimately, I can't control when I die. Do you control when you have to use the restroom? It just happen. Do you freak out when you got to take a pee? Well, you do kind of control it. You can hold it, but only for so long, right? Death's the same way. And the thing is like, you can't die in any other time but your time. When it's your day, it's your day, bud. And it's been appointed, like, by the Lord. Darn it. I mean, like, that's cool. Anywho, sorry, playing in the sink water. I'm like a toddler. But, you can't, like, the Bible, like Jesus said, by taking thought, you can't add a cubit to your stature. And what he meant was worrying about it, right? Like, trying to manipulate the outcome and whatever. And you really can. Why freak out, dude? Like, geez, old dang Pete's. And I have a lot of anxious moments, don't get me wrong, I do. But they're moments. And then ultimately I have to realize God's in control of everything. So if you really believe that God's in control of everything, what do you got to fear? Might take you through some uncomfortable things. But there's reasons for that. Get with the reasons. Be molded by it. A lot of us want to be blessed, but we don't want to go through the process. That's a big thing. And hey, I'm right there with you. I ain't nobody special on that. Like, there's times when, like, I'm a spoiled baby. I am. Not a great thing, but it is what it is, man. So, but thing is, we all are, if we're honest. But you can't control anything. Like, there are people there. I seen this one thing. There's a Civil War vet that had lived to a ripe old age and had a freaking ball, one of the black powder rifle balls that they used to shoot. He had one of those lodged in his skull since the Civil War, and he lived to be an old man, never knew it was in there. There are people that have lived through some things where it's like they should not have lived. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Dude, I've been close to death. And most people, that's why they're so scared. They don't know what a real problem is. So many people are running around like, clutching. Like, oh, I gotta get the last little bit of life and pleasure and me. Like, that's what it is. It's fiendish. And like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And like, why do you think like women like brave, bold dudes, right? They don't like little scared dudes. You know why that is? Because like it's not realistic. They need somebody like you gotta think like it's ingrained in us as a survival thing to like it's healthy for us to be brave. It's healthy. Some might look at it as insane, but in a culture where up is down and left is right, like what you call insane. Sometimes, not all the time, what you call insane is laughable. You're the one who are nuts. The thing is like, and that's another big question. Who's to say who's crazy, right? But, really, if you really think about it, what you call sane might be nuts. You don't know it. But, thing is, yeah, fear's a wicked little thing. It makes us do wicked little things. It could take a really awesome dude and make him act like a straight up fiend. I've been there, But yeah, it's gross. Don't do it. Live for the Lord. Have faith in the Lord. Quit rolling around like acting all nuts. Quit sweating people over the stupid masks. They're scientifically stupid. You make yourself look so dumb when you try to sit there and when you endorse masks and lockdowns. You don't understand science. I'm just going to come out and say this. Like, you don't understand science at all. You're I'll leave that alone. I don't want to go too far. But like, it's stupid. You show how little you know about the human immune system, about how masks actually work, about government history, diseases, anything like common sense, like economics, how things actually run. You make yourself look dumb. But the thing is when I see all these people walking around with their masks on, looking all scared, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And like people say, well, the Lord tells us to be wise, and it's like, yeah, but actually be wise. Don't just don't take that thought like halfway. Actually, really think that thing out. Are you being wise, or do you just think you're being wise? Anyhow. More hope for a fool than a man who's wise in his own conceit. I believe that's Proverbs. Man, we're seeing that now, ain't we? Seeing that in a large way. Yeah. The thing is, what do you think is giving all these corrupt politicians so much control? Your fear and your ignorance. One of the biggest things they use against people, any human being who's trying to work another human being over, they use fear. They use fear. That's why the Bible says, not to be so attached to this world, right? It's one of the many reasons, because the thing is, if your value structure isn't set up on this life but on the next, you're a lot harder to manipulate. A lot of people think that Christianity is naivete on roids. No. It is actually the slickest thing you'll ever come across. you just don't know what value looks like. A lot of people going around thinking they're smart, putting Christianity on blast, and it's like, and they don't even know the Bible. They've never read the Bible, and it's like they're just regurgitating some crap they heard their friends say that they thought sounded good and it fit what they want to do. They want to go out and fornicate and, do coke and, I don't know, shoot puppies in the face or something horrible like that. They want to go out and do what the flesh wants to do. And they don't want anybody telling them otherwise. That's all it is. Like, let's not trump it up that, like it's something, big and sophisticated. Like, that's the one thing, that's something that gets on my nerves. They like to act like they're all intellectual, and it's like, you're not, though. You're just over there thinking with your hormones. There's nothing smart about this. Like, anywho, gets on my nerves. So, but the thing is like, we live in such a fearful culture in such fearful times. People are selling out their neighbors. They're selling out their family members. The Lord talked about this when he was with us. He talks about this in the Word. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. But the thing is, we're living in the end times. We're in perilous times. Everybody is freaking all the time. There's wars, rumors of wars, I'm just to the point where I'm like, come on, blow that trumpet there, Lord. Like, let's go. I get tired of living here, man. I get tired of how nasty people are and whatever. How fearful they are. What they do out of fear. People will do the pettiest things out of fear. They will get so shady. And good point. I used to watch the Lord of the Rings, some of the Lord of the Rings movies. I wasn't all that into them, but I'd watch them, Schmeagol, Golem, whatever you want to call him, his real name is Schmeagol. He was a little fiendish dude. One of the things was, he was scared of everything. Like, when you turned your back, he had no problem stabbing you in the back. But as soon as you, got up in his grill, he shrunk down real quick, man, And the thing is, that's so much of our culture today. A lot of people, it's like this. Like, I'm a big boy, obviously. And very few people sweat me about the stupid mask thing, alright? They don't, try to make me wear a mask when I go in Walmart. One day I was just coming off, I was getting off of work, I was all dirty and whatever, and go into Walmart, and, I'm looking pretty frustrated. I'm sure I had a long, hard day, probably putting off the vibe, like I'm not in the mood, not the one. And they turned around to try to tell me to put a mask on, and they looked at me, you could see that look on there. I was like, never mind. But then, okay, somebody I know was telling me that she was, when she goes in Walmart, they make her wear a mask every time. She's a little girl, she's a little woman, but it's cowardice. Cowardice. Fear makes you not want to do anything about anything. It makes you ineffective. It cripples you in so many ways, because if you're scared to even try, what are you going to get out of that? Where's it going to go, right? For real, where's it going to go? What? Yeah. It's nuts, man. I get tired of it. Just some food for thought. Fear and faith. You can't have you can't have your life ran by fear and claim to have faith. You sometimes you might slip and, you know, be a little fearful, but, you know, there's a difference between a slip up and, you know, okay, I just remembered something and my whole world's a lot better. Sorry. Anyhow, but thing is though, there's only so much fear and faith can coexist, or like oil and water. There's a difference between a scared moment and a life filled with fear. You know, are you going and, you know, and if you claim to be a Christian, that's for the unbeliever, man. What do you got to be afraid of? Your Father is God. He will give you all things. I see prayers answered regularly. I mean, and sometimes I forget about it until like after a while I'm like, oh, I prayed for that. That was something I prayed for. I've prayed for meals that I wanted, and you know maybe not, but I didn't get them like when I thought I wanted them, but when they were optimally when they'd be optimally appreciated, I got them. That's the thing. Man, I just preached to myself a little bit there about some other stuff. Sometimes you gotta learn how to appreciate it before you get it. Thing is, quit rolling around being afraid and letting this world cripple you. Quit. If you're a warrior for Christ, be a warrior for Christ. Stand up. Get hit a little bit. Get a little dirty. Don't be so scared. You have no reason to fear. Every bump you take in this world, you're going to get compensated in the next. And for eternity. This is just temporal. You know, if you knew that, oh man, my eyeball. If you could sacrifice a little bit of the joy of your youth to have the rest of your life, amazing. And this isn't even on that same scale. Like, this is, eternity, we can't comprehend eternity. I have a hard time comprehending 100 years. You know? It's eternal. So don't fear. You know? Just believe. I'm always great at that now. I have fearful moments. But ultimately, like Peter, I have to repent. I have to live for the Lord. And I'm preaching to myself in many ways just as much as I am you. Quit being so scared. Put that armor on. Put that on that full armor of God. You fight the good fight of faith with the love of Jesus Christ till the very end. Be praying for me. Pray for me to really understand what the Lord has for me, for direction. Pray for me to be more of a son of God than just a mortal man. Pray for me that I got enough spiritual moxie to step up and do what He wants me to do. I have some things that myself where fear gets in the way, and I've got to quit myself. So, and pray for me that, I get brave and bold too. Alright, well, take your mask off, go give somebody a big old hug and a sloppy wet kiss. Peace out.